They told me my family's land didn't matter anymore. 32 cabins appeared like weeds overnight, swallowing the lake I'd grown up on. I didn't yell. I didn't fight, at least not yet. I waited silently. And when the courts finally sided with me, every cabin, every mansion, returned to my control. My name is Ezra Thornfield, and Lake Clearwater has been my family's sanctuary since 1896. My great-grandfather, Silas, paid $200 for 47 acres of untouched wilderness, land my family has cherished for over a century. Generations of Thornfields fished its waters, hiked its trails, and built a life that honored the quiet beauty of this place. The old hand-hewn log cabin my ancestors built still stands near the shoreline, its timbers etched with time, each plank telling stories of decades past. We never commercialized the island. Solar panels powered our small off-grid system, rainwater collected in barrels, and the woods remained wild, unspoiled. It was our haven, a place to escape the world and remember what mattered. My parents, my siblings, and I learned patience, resourcefulness, and the value of hard work here. Every corner of the island held memories, childhood adventures, campfires, quiet mornings watching mist rise from the lake. 2 years ago, after returning from 20 years as a marine engineer building bridges in conflict zones, I hoped to turn this land into a retreat center for veterans. My wife, Sarah, had drawn the plans herself, envisioning therapy gardens winding along old fishing trails, cabins for reflection, spaces for healing. I thought the hardest battles were behind me. Then Vivian Blackthorne arrived, and everything I had known about peace, legacy, and family ownership changed in an instant. I don't care if your inbred family has been squatting here since the Stone Age. This is my lake now, and you're trespassing on HOA property. That's what Vivian Blackthorne screamed at me while standing on my great-grandfather's hand-built dock, her designer heels grinding into it older than her entire bloodline. The smell of her overpriced perfume clashed with the pine needles like everything else about this woman clashed with decency. She gestured at 32 identical rental cabins now cover my family's island like suburban rash. Demolish that shack and pay 85 grand or I'll bulldoze it myself. I stood there, silent, letting her tirade fill the air while my mind cataloged every violation, every illegal structure, every audacious inch of my land she had claimed as her own. Her smile was smug, her posture regal, as if centuries of entitlement were carved into her very bones. I could feel the weight of history pressing down, the decades my family had poured into this land, and the arrogance of someone who thought it could be stolen with a signature and a county permit. I took a deep breath, let the lake air fill my lungs, and made a silent promise. Every cabin, every structure, every foot of my island would come back under my control. I didn't need to yell. I didn't need to fight her in that moment. I would wait, and when the time came, the law, history, and karma itself would deliver justice. Over the next 3 years, I watched her and her HOA operate like a kingdom with no accountability, each cabin sprouting faster than the weeds in spring. I mapped every plot, every corner, every misstep. I documented their encroachments, researched old deeds, and quietly prepared for the day the scales would tip in my favor. When the court date finally arrived, it was not a battle fought in anger, but in precision, evidence, and patience honed over decades of family stewardship. The judge's gavel finally fell, and every cabin was declared my property. Even her lakefront mansion, perched arrogantly on my land, was handed back into my hands. Watching her pack the last of her belongings, her smirk gone, her kingdom crumbling, I felt the strange warmth of vindication and the quiet humor of karma. My island was whole again, my family's legacy intact, and the lake reflected the freedom, peace, and justice that had been patiently waiting for me all along.